Hello, I am now a degenerate construction worker, and I have been for about 6 months, I think. This is the story of how that came to be. Okay, so recall back to this video here from 6-7 months ago, where I took this Husqvarna Vitpillen 401 on a 3-day little motorcycle trip with all of my Harley Davidson buddies, all my buddies that own Harley Davidsons. Don't be getting to thinking that me bringing my little chainsaw on that trip made me feel inferior and like I gotta get myself a Harley. America. But it did sort of plant the seed of maybe wanting to get something just a little bit bigger for trips like that when we're on like long sections of highway. This will do highway speeds, but it's a little bit buzzy. It's a little bit like, I'd love to be on a back road again here pretty soon while they're just like cruising along totally fine. And I'm a hipster, as you can probably tell from the last few videos I've uploaded where I'm working on my XS400, turning it into a scrambler. Yeah, I started looking at Triumph Scrambler 1200 XEs and XCs, and I thought, that's the ticket. Now, I've made some commendable income with my little bicycle videos I've been posting on here over the last however long it's been. Certainly nothing to write home about, but enough to meet all the bare minimum requirements. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. But one thing was for sure, definitely not enough to walk into any sort of Triumph dealership and buy one of their brand new Scrambler 1200s, or, really to even buy a used one because people still think they're worth a bunch of money. Anyway, so I came up with the plan. So what I was to do was leave being in the shop full time to go spend my days with a brick building restoration company, continuously collect money from the time that I had been there until it was the amount that I needed to acquire a Scrambler 1200 XE. Honestly, the perfect crime. And that plan, it has to be said, was working out pretty good. It was working. But as a portion of that famous Mike Tyson quote goes, everybody's got a plan till you get punched in the face. And that metaphorical punch in the face moment came in the form of one of the most horrendous crashes I've ever been in, piloting this thing on my way home from work, in a rush albeit, on the McDonald Bridge. I'll spare you most of the details, but I was going way too fast, and it was crazy. The result of said crash was an absolutely obliterated right elbow that required surgery, pretty gnarly scar, and an expected 6 months of recovery time before I could really be back at anything. That was like worst case scenario. So naturally, missed some time off work, and injuries like this don't exactly lend themselves to messing with bikes or riding them, so hard to make any content for on here, nor am I particularly motivated to, because the old broken wing, not ideal. But eventually, with enough physio, some time to heal, get to a point where I could maybe be somewhat helpful, and with this, the old Dewey, and not to mention very understanding and charitable bosses, I was able to go back to work and just kind of like help out where I could with the limitations. I was basically sweeping. I played the sweeping game. Anyway, as my elbow has continued to recover and I've spent more time around the projects that I've been on, I've learned how nice it is to have a project in front of you work-wise that you can visibly see the progress of. And there's a lot more satisfaction in that than any office job I've ever had. So even though a lot of the recovery time's gone by, my surgeon's giving me the all clear to use it, and I'm on track to getting my 1200 Scrambler. I think when I do, I'll keep showing up the site. And this will just be a hobby. I don't need the stress of trying to make content that's gonna make money all the time. This is just for fun now.